custom made by Jesse James. Just incredible, incredible. But it was great to see Donald Trump Jr. At the SHOT Show. I didn't see him personally, but he was around there. We heard he was at different booths, and Eric as well. I heard was there, but I saw them on Instagram, saw some pictures. These folks are just normal guys. They're blue collar billionaires. I mean, they're there. They connect with, even though they're sort of elite, they connect with the blue collar person because they're into hunting and shooting sports. They're into fishing. They're into outdoor activity. And they're not just like these Gaia, theorists, these little vegans who pretend that they're going to save the world through veganism when it actually produces more agriculture, destroys more ecosystems, it destroys more land to produce all the vegan products that they have to eat. And NRA did a nice piece on them that exposed that fact, not only of their top leadership as how evil and how human-hating they are. I mean, one of the top leaders and top philosophers sort of espousing the veganism and a new ethic for animals and treatment or whatever. I mean, these people were saying, that any woman that wears a fur coat should be brutally raped. I mean, that's how they talk about human beings, and that any man should who wears fur or leather should be raped up the anus until he's disemboweled. I mean, this is how these people think. One of them were saying that it's a human baby, killing a human baby, even post-birth, after birth, 30 days after birth, is totally fine because it has less value than a dog or a chimp. I mean, these are the kind of Satanists, they're real Satanists that lead this type of animal rights, whatever groups, and create the philosophical background for human hatred. They are the most human-hating, open. And one of them was trying to say, making a case for bestiality. Hey, he was saying people should be able to have sex with animals as long as the animals want to do it. I mean, what the hell is this guy talking about? These people are sick. It shows you what they're doing, what they want to do, right? I mean, these people are absolutely despicable. And of course, that shows you the totalitarian nature. And of course, they want to centralize power so that they force everybody to do so, to abide by their wishes because they're the moral superiors. And everybody has to just do what they do and stop the human tradition of hunting and fishing and gathering, stop the human tradition of interacting with nature in a realistic way that is part and parcel with any ecosystem, animal predation being absolutely critical to the balance of different animal species throughout the ecosystem. Veganism, destroying all that wildlife land. Veganism, if it was able to take over the world, also with all the shipping and all the things like that, that they were including, with all the roads that have to be created, all these kind of things. These kind of things kill more animals, eliminate more species than all of hunters combined. So NRA did an incredible article on them. I'm not going to repeat it today, but anyways, the point is, these guys, these Trump boys, are they embrace this kind of culture. They embrace the outdoor culture, which is of course Christ's culture. Christ was an outdoorsman. He loved the outdoors. He went to the wilderness all the time to pray. Christ was an outdoorsman. How many times do you see Jesus Christ as an outdoorsman? We know true father was an incredible outdoorsman. He was every season he was practicing outdoor skills. Every season he was out there in the wild, in the outdoors. I mean, I'm talking about Amazon jungles. You're talking about the raw Chiniac of Alaska. I mean, really, really raw. He's not going out there just to some luxury trip in a 5-star hotel. We were in little shanties, you understand? Little shanties. I mean, little plastic houses. Literally, in little plastic houses. And father was out there fishing. He was hardcore outdoorsman. I mean, by any standard. True father was a hardcore outdoorsman. And we had this whole community of outdoorsmen, gun owners, etc., who would have loved father for that, who would have just appreciated him for that. But the stupid leadership around him and all the stupid marketers around him, they're all liberal lunatics basically, and it comes out that they're all betrayers of True Father. They didn't know how to market that. They didn't know how to show that to the proper audience, the proper demographic, who would have loved the fact that Reverend Moon is the founder of Washington Times, conservative news and alternate news in America. Is a hardcore outdoorsman. I mean, you're talking about hardcore. You understand? He's not out there just, occasionally on the weekend. He's not a weekend camper, a weekend fisherman. Even though that's a lot. I mean, if you fished every weekend, that would be a lot. I mean, I don't fish every weekend. No way. We live in a mountain, so I'm outdoors more than a couple times a week, obviously. But True Father was a incredibly hardcore outdoorsman. You're talking about actively going out to wilderness locations. On average, probably at least 3 times a week. I mean, that is hardcore. And he's not spending like a couple hours, he's spending all freaking day there. I mean, that is so hardcore, but that's so badass in a good way to people in the outdoorsmen and bushcrafting and or gun community and or fishing community, hunting community. All these people are intertwined. Because they have to deal with reality. They have to deal with life and death. They have to deal with survival. They have to deal with core body temperature. They have to deal with killing animals, processing animals, et cetera, searching and tracking game. They have to deal with real stuff that has real danger. I mean, you go outdoors, you have to face danger. Nature will not be kind to you if you're not prepared. It will kill you. It doesn't care if you die. You're just another casualty on the natural landscape. You have to be prepared. You can't be delusional. You can't just think that you can withstand the elements without proper preparation and or proper survival mechanisms and or systems. So that's what I feel about these guys. And of course, we met Eric. He was at the Tommy Gun Warehouse. Wonderful fellow, tall young man, very tall, but so skilled businessman. Excellent guys. He took a whole tour of the Tommy Gun Warehouse, the Tommy Gun factory. They loved the Desert Eagle. One of their favorite guns was the baby Desert Eagle. Did you know that growing up? So one of their favorite guns is the Desert Eagle. I don't think they stopped by the car booth this time. It would be great if they did. But I mean, I'm watching their Instagram. They're just outdoor guys, and this is what's so important. You have to understand in Chanilguk, you're gonna have a lot of people who have a lot of wealth because you're gonna have so much freedom. In Chanilguk, of course, the kingdom of God. You're gonna have people who have, because Chanilguk is economically so free. Politically, it's so free, even though it's not a democratic system. The kingdom of God is a libertarian Republican monarchy, of course, and there is the kingship of Christ that is there. There is, but of course, the citizens are also kings and queens, and they have the rights of kings and queens, including private property ownership and protection, and of course, the right to bear arms is a natural human right in the kingdom of God. And of course, the bearing arms is not only a Second Amendment; it's not only some kind of law; it is a duty of the kingdom of God's citizen or co-heir with Christ, who stands with Christ at the millennial kingdom, etc. Because that those arms are the rod of iron with which he will rule with his co-heirs, live and reign with Christ for 1,000 years, and vanquish evil. It will vanquish evil because it's in the hands of the good people, the normal, non-psychopathic, non-sociopathic individuals of the population who are standing with Christ and, of course, are trained. The Bible says God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. All 3 elements, critical elements of actual rod of iron and firearms ethics and firearms training. Have a disciplined mind, have love in your heart for human beings and for God, love your neighbor. And, of course, to have the dominion of power or dominion over life and death. Absolutely critical elements to a sovereign